morning. Happy wake and bake. Sorry, I am super late. Look here, I'm super late. Where the fuck is the time now? Son of a bitch. Anyway, it's 12 o'clock. I am super late. I woke up late. I did. I was up all night because I drank my Keep You Alive juice too late in the day, I think. I don't know that for sure, though. But I was looking at chapter 5 here because I don't remember if I pointed it out yesterday or not. Because I watched my video and I'm like, but this right here, okay? When he saw the crowd, so he saw all the people, Jesus saw all the people, and he went up the mountain. And after he had sat down, so he went up the mountain and sat down. And then the disciples that were with him, there was 4 of them. They came up to him after he sat down, and he began to teach them. So, he began to teach them. So is that the 4 disciples? It seems like Jesus sat down. He went up the mountain and sat down, and then taught the 4 disciples that were with him. Because he went away from the multitude. He saw the crowds. He went up the mountain and sat down. Then his disciples came to him, and he began to teach them, saying, so who's them? The disciples or the crowds? I know in the reenactments of this Sermon of the Mount, they have Jesus standing and his 12 disciples are with him. But there was only 4 of them at this time. There was only 4. We just learned this yesterday. It was John, Peter, Andrew, and I don't remember the 4th one's name, but it was Andrew's brother. Zebedee's son. But there was only 4 of them, and he began to teach them. I don't know who them is. I guess it would be the whole throng of people, but Jesus went away from them. He went up the mountain. So was he like, oh man, there's a lot of crowd here. Let me get up here and sit down. But if you're speaking to a large crowd, don't you want to be standing? I think that's why everybody has Jesus standing, because they think he's teaching the crowd. But if he's sitting and his disciples came to him, then he must have been teaching them, the 4 of them. I don't know. All right, but we are on chapter, how many minutes did that take? Oh my God, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. All right. Chapter 7. Okay, judging others. Stop judging, that you may not be judged. Yeah, cool your fans. For as you judge, so you will be judged. And the measure with which you measure will be measured to you. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own? How can you say to your brother, let me remove that splinter from your eye, while the wooden beam is still in your own eye? This could be changed. How can you say to Ukraine, let me send you money, when you don't even have money? You hypocrite. Haha, yes. Remove that wooden beam from your eye first. So make sure you have money first. Then you will be able to send somebody else money. Pearls before swine. I have to say, people tell me this all the time. And I can't say that I don't know what it means, but I don't. So we're going to find out if we can figure out what it means. Do not give what is holy to dogs, or throw your pearls before swine, lest they trample them underfoot and turn and tear you to pieces. Okay, so don't trust Democrats. Got it. Got it. The answer to prayers. And I know Republicans too. Don't trust Republicans. And that's fine. It should be don't trust a politician. But I'm telling you what, Democrats and progressives will make it more painful when they tear you apart. Republicans, it seems, doesn't have those kind of doesn't have the strength to torture people. Democrats and progressives have the strength to torture people. That's why I use Democrats, because they are the worst. The answer to prayers. This is a great Garth Brooks song. I believe it's called Unanswered Prayers, but still a great Garth Brooks song. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. Right here, a lot of people that don't do the God thing that are in my life are like, I ask God for help and he doesn't help me. God. It's like, okay, do you believe it's going to work? Or are you just asking to ask to be a dick? Are you just asking so you can prove me wrong? Because, yeah, you're going to prove me wrong because you don't believe what you're saying. If you really want it, it will happen. But if you're just being a dick, it's not going to happen. You gotta believe it. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. And remember really quickly, and God said, you're not going to find me unless you're broken. So if you're not broken and just like, oh, God, give me $1 million. God's not real because he didn't give me $1 million. You don't need $1 million. And you're not in a position where you can even seek God. So, like, you're not going to find God being a dick just to prove God doesn't exist. Just wait, it'll happen. Which one of you would hand his son a stone when he asks for a loaf of bread? Or, I'm not. I would do that, but only because it would be funny. Or a snake when he asks for a bee. I'm just kidding, but bees are fish now. A snake when he asks for a fish. I mean, technically, you could give him a bee because bees are fish. Look it up. Uncivil Law has a whole video about it. Oh, he's like, what? If you then, who are wicked, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your heavenly Father give good things to those who ask him? Why would he talk to the wicked people? If you then, who are wicked, know how to give good gifts. So are you pointing out to the wicked like how God's like the wicked? I don't know. The golden rule: do to others whatever you would have them do to you. This is the law. This is the law and the prophets. What? What does that mean? This is the prophets. I don't. Enter through the narrow gate. For the gate is wide and the road broad. For the gate is wide and the road broad that leads to destruction, and those who enter through it are many. So what is that? There's many ways to be bad and only one way to be good? Interesting. How narrow the gate and constricted the road that leads to life, and those who find it are few. Why though? Okay. False prophets. We learned about these from Ben Sira. Turns out Ben Sira is a false prophet. No. No. Ben Sira is not even a prophet. He's just a dude. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but underneath are ravenous wolves. By their fruits you will know them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Just so, every good tree bears good fruit, and a rotten tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a rotten tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit will be cut down and thrown into fire. So by their fruits you will know them. Okay. Wow. Okay. The true disciple. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. Does that count making YouTube videos? Because, I'm gonna assume that counts because I want to go to heaven. Heaven seems nice. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not drive out demons in your name? Did we not do mighty deeds in your name. Then I will declare to them solemnly, I never knew you. Depart from me, evildoers. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, get out. Here we go. The two foundations. Everyone who listens to these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who builds his house on rock. The rain fell, the floods came, the winds blew and buffered the house, but it did not collapse. It had been set solidly on rock. And everyone who listens to these words of mine but does not act on them will be like a fool who built his house on sand. The rain fell, the floods came, the winds blew and buffeted the house, buffeted. I don't know. And it collapsed and was completely ruined. Then Jesus finished these words, and the crowds were astonished at his teachings, after he taught them as one having authority and not as their scribes. Okay, so he was sitting down. He was sitting down and talking to the people. Okay, we can deal with that. But he wasn't standing up, he was sitting down. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Holy shit. Hold on. All right, chapter 8. The cleansing of a leper. When Jesus came down from the mountain, great crowds followed him. Then a leper approached and did his homage. Did him homage, and said, Lord, if you wish, you can make me clean. Wow, what a way to ask. Oh my God. And then he stretched out his hand and touched him and said, I'll do it. Be made clean. And his leprosy was cleansed immediately. And then Jesus said, see that you tell no one, but go show yourself to the priest and offer the gift that Moses prescribed, that it will be proof for them. Here we go. The healing of a centurion's servant. When he entered Capernaum, a centurion approached him and appealed to him, saying, Lord, my servant is lying at home paralyzed, suffering dreadfully. And he said to him, all right, take me to him. And the centurion replied, Lord, I am not worthy to have you enter under my roof. Only say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I too am a person subject to authority, with soldiers subject to me. And I say to one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my slave, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said to those following him, Amen, I say to you. And no one and no one in Israel. No one in Israel has this much faith. I say to you, many will come from the east and the west, and I will recline with Abe, Isaac, and Jake at the banquet in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom will be driven out into the outer darkness. There will be wailing and grinding of teeth. Wow. Okay. Be driven out into the outer darkness. Okay. So, heaven. So, heaven is this big shining thing in the middle of all this darkness. I don't know. I'm mostly conjecturing, if that's a word. And Jesus said to the centurion, "You may go as you have believed. Let it be done for you." And at that very hour, his servant was healed. Oh, here we go. Simon Peter. Let's see. So Peter must have had to go home for a minute. So Jesus entered the house of Peter and saw his mother-in-law lying in bed with a fever. He touched her hand and the fever left her. She arose. She rose and waited on him. Interesting. Very, very interesting. When it was evening, they brought him many who were possessed. When it was evening, they brought him many who were possessed by demons, and he drove out the spirits by a word and cured all the sick. Word magic. To fulfill what had been said by Isaiah. Okay, so he cured all the sick to fulfill what had been said by Isaiah the prophet. He took away our infirmities and bore our diseases. The would-be followers of Jesus. Would-be followers. When Jesus saw a crowd around him, he gave orders to cross the other side. And the scribe approached him and said, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." And Jesus said, "Foxes have dens. Foxes have dens. Foxes have dens. Birds have the sky. Oh, birds of the sky have nests. But the Son of Man has nowhere to rest his head." Oh. "You can stay at my house." Another of his disciples said, Another one of his disciples said, "Lord, let me go first and bury my father." But Jesus said, "Follow me and let the dead bury their dead." Oh, that's well, I don't know, Jesus, that's pretty mean. He's like, "I want to bury my dad." And Jesus is like, "Nah, we gotta go." Wow. Oh, here we go. Let's see what this story is, because I hear about this story all the time. Let's see what it says. He got into a boat and his disciples followed him. At this point, there's still only 4. Suddenly, a violent storm came upon the sea, so that the boat was being swamped by waves, but he was asleep. And they came and woke him and say, "Save us! We are perishing!" And he said, "Why are you scared? Do you not have faith? Are you not faithful?" Right? And then he got up, rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. What? I thought that this was a Peter thing. What? Anyway, okay. The men were amazed and said, "What sort of man is this, whom even the winds and the sea obey?" I don't even, demoniacs. Okay, let's see. Hold on. The healing of the Gadarene demoniacs. Okay. Okay. When he came to the other side, to the territory of the Gadarenes, two demoniacs who were coming from the tombs met him. They were so savage that no one could travel by that road. Here we go. And they cried out, "What have you to do with us, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the appointed time? Are you coming to give us shit? Leave us alone." Ah. And some distance away, a oh, wait a minute. What have you to do with us, Son of God? You came to torment. And some distance away, a herd of many swine was feeding. The demons pleaded with him, "If you drive us out, send us into the herd of swine." And he said, "Go then." So they came out and entered the swine, and the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea, and they were drowned. Okay, so this was two people. Why was it? Why did they only say it was one people or one person? Two. Okay, there were two. And then they were drove into they wanted to go into the pigs. So Jesus sent them to the pigs. And then they ran into the water. So the swineherds ran away. And when they came to the town, they reported everything, including what happened to the demoniacs. Thereupon, the whole town came out to meet Jesus. When they saw him, they begged him to leave their district. Yeah, because they all must be Democrats. They can't have anything good around them. They will fucking die. All right, 1 second. I will be right back. Okay, chapter 9. And this says, the healing of a paralytic. He entered a boat, made the crossing, and came into his own town. Here we go. And the people brought to him a paralytic lying on a stretcher. Then Jesus saw their faith and said to the paralytic, "Courage, Child, your sins are forgiven. At that, some of the scribes said to themselves, this man is blaspheming. Are you jealous much, you piece of shit? Oh, I need to stop. Jesus knew what they were thinking and said, why do you harbor evil thoughts? The fuck is wrong with you, yo? Which is easier to say? Your sins are forgiven, or rise and walk. But that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. Are you jealous that you can't do that? You could probably do that. Have you ever tried to do that? I don't think you've tried to do that. So, what are you mad at me for? And then, okay, so he said then to the paralytic, rise, take your shit and go home, yo. Fuck these guys. When the crowd saw this, they were struck with awe and glorified God who had given such authority to human beings. Yeah. 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 The call of Matthew. Okay, so Matthew is going to be the 5th disciple. Okay. As Jesus passed on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the customs post. He said, Come the fuck on, dude. So Matthew was like, While he was at a table in his house, many tax collectors and sinners came and sat with Jesus and his disciples. Hold on. Who was he? Oh, okay. So Jesus is in his hometown. Matt is in his hometown. So Jesus at his house was like, party time in the ghetto. Okay. And the Pharisees saw this and said to his disciples, why does your teacher eat with them? Eat with those people. Eat with the others. And he heard this and said, those who are well do not need a physician. The sick do. You know. So go and learn the meanings of these words. All right. So go figure out what the fuck this means, dude. If I desire mercy, no. Okay. Go and learn the meaning of these words. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners. Okay. So this is the point of Jesus. God is hope, and Jesus is like, everybody's got to party of the ghetto. Everybody's got to come. The question about fasting. Yeah, I have a lot of questions about fasting. Is that something I really have to do? Because I am terrible at things. When the disciples of John approached him and said, so was John of Pharisees or a Sadducees? When the disciples of John approached and said, why do we and the Pharisees fast, but your disciples do not fast? Oh, okay. The disciples of John approached Jesus and said, "Why do we and the Pharisees, so they must be Sadducees, fast so much, but your disciples do not fast?" And Jesus said, "Can the wedding guests mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast." So, do you only fast when you're unhappy? Oh, well, I'm rarely unhappy. Maybe that's why I have a hard time fasting, because I'm not unhappy. And that we learned something. We learned it. Yeah, look at us. Oh, we're so smart. Yeah. Okay. No one patches an old cloth. No one patches an old cloak with a piece of unshrunken cloth, for its fullness pulls away from the cloak, and the tear gets worse. People do not put new wine in old wineskins, otherwise, the skins burst and the wine spills out. The skins are ruined. Rather, they pour wine. No. Rather, they pour new wine into fresh wine skins, and both are preserved. Hold on. No. I don't exactly get what this. Oh, okay. Yeah, but if they're fasting while they're with you, how does that get worse? Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I know what these mean, but I do not know how these go with. Or is he just changing subjects all the time, like constantly changing subjects? Hmm. The official's daughter and the woman with a hemorrhage. All right, here we go. While he was saying these things to them, an official came forward and knelt down before him and said, "My daughter has just died, but come, your hand on her, she will live." So Jesus arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. At this time, there's only 5. A woman suffering hemorrhages for 12 years came up behind him and touched the tassel on his cloak. And she said to herself, "If I can only touch his cloak, I shall be cured." Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Jesus turned around and saw her and said, "Courage, daughter, your faith has saved you." And from that hour, the woman was cured. Okay. Then Jesus arrived at the official's house and saw the flute players and the crowd and the crowd who were making a commotion. He said, "Go away! The girl is not dead. She's sleeping." And they ridiculed him. Then the crowd was put out, and he came and took her by the hand, and the little girl rose, and the news spread throughout all that land. Here we go. Wow. The healing of 2 blind men. And as Jesus pressed on from there, 2 blind men followed, crying out, "Son of David, have pity on us." When he entered the house, the blind men approached him, and Jesus said to him, "Do you believe I can do this?" And they was like, yeah, duh. We know who you is. And then he touched their eyes and said, "Let it be done for you according to your faith." See, right here, you remember that preacher, the dude who was like, and then rubbed it in that guy's eyes? He said that's what Jesus did. That's not. He touched their eyes and said, "Let it be done for you." He didn't spit on nobody. Okay. I'm going to keep my opinions. And that their eyes were open. Jesus warned them sternly, "See that no one knows about this." But they went out and spread word of him throughout all that land. Jesus, these people can't be trusted, man. But obviously you knew that. So that's why you told the people, don't go say shit. Because you know they're going to say shit. Okay, so the healing of a mute person. As they were going out, a demoniac. Why does this sound like a liquor? Why does it sound like a liquor? Okay. A demoniac who could not speak was brought to him. And when the demon was driven out, the mute person spoke. The crowds were amazed and it's like, yo, nothing like this has ever been done in Israel ever. But the Pharisees said, "He drives out demons by the prince of demons." How the fuck does that happen? That's what I'm saying. Are these people stupid on purpose? There is no logic to these people at all, then or now. There's no logic to these people. The compassion of Jesus. I just want to say, jealousy is in these people so terribly. They just never mind. The compassion of Jesus. Jesus went around to all Jesus went to all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom, and curing every disease and illness. At the sight of the crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, because they were troubled and abandoned, like sheep without a shepherd. Yes, 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 because all the shepherds lie. Then he said to his disciples, and there's 5 at this point, "The harvest is abundant, but the harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. So ask the master of the harvest to send out laborers for his harvest." So ask the master of the harvest to send out laborers for his. And they were abandoned. I don't know. Is it like, is he going to ask God for more disciples? Is this what this means? I don't know. It's going to be the end of it, though. So I guess we're going to find out tonight if that's what that means. But anyway, Thank you. Oh my God, man, I talk way too fucking much. Thank you for watching. I love you and have the greatest day. Oh, take your pills. Take your pills. Make sure you took your pills. Take your pills. Anyway, thank you for watching. I love you and have the greatest day ever.